everyone, welcome back to the Half Soybean channel. My name is Sharon and today we are going to be making a reversible teddy jacket. Although we're going into summer where I am, I know most of you guys are from the northern hemisphere, so it's probably getting super chilly. So some of you might be more motivated to make this jacket than others. And even though I'm from Australia, when I think of the colder months, there is one day that my mind automatically goes to. You might celebrate this or not, but I'm already thinking of all the gifts that I'm going to buy. And you know that I love versatility, hence all the reversible clothing that I'm making, and I look for this feature in my fashion accessories as well. So thank you so much to Nordgreen for sponsoring today's video. They have the most stylish, versatile and sleek watches, and you can change the straps to perfectly match your outfit. They come in a huge range of buckle colors, sizes and materials, and they even have vegan leather. I personally chose a metal and a fabric strap because I thought that would suit me the best. They are designed by Jacob Wagner, and he's just a real visionary when it comes to design. He's won so many awards and he has over 20 years of experience in design engineering. But the best part about this brand is that you can donate directly to a cause that matters the most to you. Nordgreen works with 3 non-government organizations including Cool Earth, Pratham and Water for Good. So this means that you could be providing 2 months of clean water to a family in Central Africa, or a month of education for a child in India, or even preserve 200 square feet of rainforest in Latin America. So whether you want to get this for yourself or for someone else, you know that you are going to be contributing to some good. On top of this, you can get 15% off with any purchase with the code BEAN linked in the description. So stick till the end to see how I style my watch that comes with 2 straps with my reversible teddy jacket. Today you will need 8 buttons of your choice, 4 for each side of the jacket, and around 6 meters of bias tape in the color of your choice. For the fabric, I just wanted to say that there's so many different types of faux furs out there that can be used for teddy jackets or coats. These are just a few, but there's boucle, curly fur types, poodle fur, Sherpa, teddy fleece, Borg, shearling, mini Sherpa, and just so many more. Today, I'm actually going to be using my dressing gown to make a pattern. I actually used that dressing gown to make this jacket, but I actually lost the paper pattern that I made for this, so I'm gonna have to retrace this jacket and then trace out all of my pattern pieces in my new fabrics. Jacket is a little bit different because I'm not going to add the bias binding to it. Instead, it's been lined in this way. It's also finished off this way, if you know what I mean, instead of just the bias around the neck. So I guess this one's a little bit more advanced than this one, which I consider to be beginner friendly. The pattern pieces you will need are for the back, front, sleeve and pockets. This is very easy. We're just putting in the pockets at the seam rather than something more advanced like a welted pocket, and you'll need to cut these out in both of your fabric choices. I also want to reiterate that you should not be intimidated by making your own patterns. For this jacket, you can even just use a long sleeve t-shirt as a template because the design is very minimalistic. I seriously just used my nightgown as a base shape and it's really nothing fancy, so I encourage you to just practice. One tip is that you should start with the back panel because that's the easiest, then do the front panels. To ensure that the front and back shoulder seams will match up, just line them up together and have a check. Also check that the armholes aren't too crazy in size difference at the back and the front. Usually the back armhole can be a little less curved. You can draft the front neckline however you want. I just gave mine a little curve and along the bottom corner as well. With the sleeve pieces, the front and back curve might not always be the same, so just double check the length of each half with the measuring tape against your front and back panel armholes as well. This should ensure that the pattern matches up nicely when you sew it all together. Today I'm using this warm material, and it actually makes me sweat just looking at it because it's no longer cold in Australia. But the other side, I picked up this beautiful, I think it's vintage. I picked it up from an elderly lady on Facebook Marketplace, and she told me it was vintage, so I'm gonna take her word for it. But it's so beautiful. It's this like navy gingham, and it's got these tulips embroidered in the little white squares, and I think that's just so darling and I love it. So I decided to cut my fur fabric outside because it's quite dusty. Just warning you so you don't get respiratory issues from making this. That would just be terrible. I still haven't bought fabric markers, so I'm using a Sharpie to this day. It's been months since I said that I would get some, but I just always forget. Make sure you cut one set in your teddy fabric and one set in the other fabric that you chose. If you chose a patterned fabric, make sure you also watch out for that as well so you don't accidentally cut it upside down or something like that. I actually came to sew outside on my foyer because I don't think I can deal with the fluff from the teddy fabric. It's actually pretty chilly outside.
It's no longer cold in Australia. No longer cold in Australia.
I mean, we're still in early spring. I also had to alter the pocket shapes by cutting straight across the bottom curve because it was just too long for the length of my jacket. And because you need 4 pocket pieces for each side of the jacket, I did 2 in the nice fabric and then 2 in a plain poplin. Then you just want to sew the shoulder seams right sides together. Once you've done that, you want to attach the sleeve pieces along the edge, right sides together. It should fit perfectly along the curves since we measured it out before. Your jacket should look like this now when you put it on. The underarm and side edges remain open so that we can add the pockets. Sew up to this step in your other fabric as well. Now we add the pockets. Have the jacket right side out and pin the pockets so that the right side is also facing the right side. This is the front of the jacket, and if you flip it to the back, I have my teddy fabric pocket pinned to the right side as well, like so. We just want to sew along that side to attach the pocket. The nice fabric is typically attached to the back of the jacket, and also for me, doing one layer of the teddy fleece helped the pocket areas not look so bulky. Okay, and then you want to flip the jacket wrong side out and also have the pocket flaps pulled out as well. Then we just sew along that entire edge. The bottom side, around the pocket, up the side again, and along the underarm seam. I'm showing you what it looks like once you do that. I haven't sewed one side so it's still open, but the other side is all sewn up with the pocket attached. Repeat those steps with the other pocket and also do it in the reverse jacket fabric as well. So just repeating again, sew down the side of the pocket to the jacket edge to the right side, and then flip everything the wrong way and sew along all the open edges of that side. I want to tell you a little bit about the teddy coat. So every year I think we see like a camel colored coat that comes into season every fall/winter. And in 2013, designer Max Mara actually released the teddy coat in like the version that we know today, but that sort of flopped. It didn't really go anywhere in 2013, and he actually re-released it in 2017, and it sort of got some attention, but it wasn't until Julia Roberts was spotted wearing it in 2018 and it just went viral. I think the reason why we love it so much is because it just looks so cozy and it's really just so warm. We should have both sides of the jacket all sewn up now, so we want to stick them together. Put one jacket into the other and make sure that the wrong sides are facing each other when you do this. I quickly just hand stitch the pockets together so they're not flailing about inside the jacket. Then you want to pin around all the edges, matching them along the seams. I then basted along all of those edges, including the sleeves. This just ensures that the jacket stays together when you install the bias tape later on. I actually got my first teddy coat in the winter of 2018. It was a trip to Korea. It was the start of the year, so like January-ish. And I don't think I had seen many teddy coats in Australia prior to that point, but I did notice once I got back from Korea, going towards the June month, which is like the winter months in Australia, and I just started seeing them everywhere. So I think that's when they really came through, and it's been coming back every year since, and I don't think it's gonna stop for a while. It's here to stay for a few more years, I think. But I think I'm gonna continue wearing mine just because it's made by me, and things that you make for yourself are forever. I prepared the bias tape by folding it in half because mine didn't come folded, which is fine. You can also make your own bias tape by cutting on the diagonal of a fabric. Then just sew in the tape as you do. Installing bias is really easy and you'll be done in a jiffy. Now I wanted to make fabric covered buttons for the gingham side, so I tried out this button making kit from Birch. Then just mark where you want your buttons to go. I did this before I basted my fabrics together, but it really doesn't matter. It's just one of the final steps anyway. My first button was 1 inch from the top, then each button was 5 inches apart. There are 4 buttons on each side. And also remember to mark where you want the buttonholes to go as well in the corresponding place on the opposite edge of the jacket. I sewed in my buttonholes, and obviously the button on the teddy side were bigger for me, so I had to make the buttonholes match up to that. I hand sewed in the buttons, sewing both at the same time on either side of the jacket. Here you can see the buttonholes a bit more closely, and I just used my seam ripper to cut open the buttonholes. That finishes the jacket, and here is the final look. So with the teddy side of the jacket, I paired it with my metal strap watch because I felt the warm colors complement each other. When I did my outfit change to the other side, I wore it with my fabric strap because I felt it went well with the little green specks in the gingham jacket. I really like how the jacket turned out, and it's nice and lightweight for Australian weather. You might want to choose heavier fabric depending on where you live. In other news, at the special request of a lovely person named Davin that I honestly haven't seen in 2 years, I wanted to say hello to Sharon, which also happens to be the name of Davin's girlfriend. I haven't shared this channel with that many people in my personal life, so it was a real surprise when he messaged saying that his girlfriend started watching a girl called Sharon on YouTube from Sydney and showed me to him. And he was like, hey, I know that person. He told me that his girlfriend took up sewing since watching my videos, and that just really warmed my heart, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of you that watch and all the lovely comments and feedback. It really encourages me to keep making videos. If you have any suggestions or what you want to see, please let me know, and I will see you very soon in the next video.